Hello friends. Today, I think it's about 20th day. No, not the 20th day, but like, a little bit. But when I got home from work yesterday, I really did notice my skin looked better. Like I kind of came home and it was a little bit like dewy a little bit and moist, which I think is hilarious because Tati hates the word moist, but she's making all of our skin moist. Ha ha! Anyway, so I've been taking this. I'm continuing being vegan. It was a little hard yesterday. Around like 11 o'clock, I was like, oh God, I like wanted to eat my arm. But I ate an apple, so it was fine. So today I'm gonna have the peach apple cobbler again. And a black bean Buddha bowl. This has 450 calories. This has 322. And I brought a granola bar. That is vegan, I checked. So that's fine. And there's an elephant that I forgot about improving my health and my skin. And that's liquid. I would say probably on average, my normal liquid intake is 2 cups of coffee, 1 Diet Dr. Pepper, and 2 to 5 glasses of Pinot Grigio. There's no water involved. I just, for some reason, don't drink water. But I'm really going to make a conscious effort today to increase the level of liquids and eat the vegan and take the pills. And I think it's really going to do something because I am seeing the results. The back of my arms, as I stated before, there's bumps back there just that I cannot get rid of. No amount of scraping or loofahing or moisturizing will make them go away. And they're lessened by about 50%, I would say. So that's pretty good. The other thing I noticed is that I'm kind of an oily person. Like, I have pretty good skin on my face, but the thing I do suffer from is blackheads. And I've noticed that in the areas that I get them, like my chin and like this area of my nose, are a little bit lessened. And the way that I can tell that is I have one of those magnifying mirrors in my bathroom that's, a magnifier plus a light so you can see like every horrendous thing on your face. Like, don't ever get one of those because you'll spend hours picking at your face. It's really bad. But anyway, so I'm going to have to say that I'm enjoying this. And for reasons other than the improvement, it's more that it's like reminding me to try and treat my body a little bit better. So that's why I think it's pretty good, in fact. I think it's good. I'm really having a fun time with this. I really am. But let's talk about Real Housewives of New York. One moment. Let's go through each and every character and discuss before the series begins. Okay. So, first, the reason I like New York is because I'm from the West Coast, and New York is just so much different. East Coast is just so much different. I feel like the women in the East Coast, they're not as plastic. Like, it seems like most of the women on Real Housewives of New York have their own boobs, and they're, like, kind of regular faces. And, like, Dorinda Medley, as an example, looks appropriate for her age. Like, she has some neck wrinkles and some other stuff. She doesn't look totally plastic. And that's one of the reasons that I really like New York, is because they kind of look like people that you actually would know, rather than Beverly Hills, where, like, I don't know anybody that actually looks like that at that age. You know what I'm saying? So here's our first look at season 10. I'm on BravoTV.com, my favorite station. So we have Bethany Frankel. I love Bethany Frankel. I think it's really interesting that she's like sharing all the traumatic life experiences that she's gone through as a child. I think it's really inspiring that she just like scrappily made a big, huge brand for herself. I mean, that's like really inspiring and amazing and fun. Would I be friends with her? I don't know. She's very intense and I'm a little bit more laid back. So in terms of who I'd be friends with, I don't know if I would be friends with her. I enjoy watching her. I love her fashion. I think it's very, it's very on trend without being too young. I feel like she does a very good job dressing. Luann de Lesseps. Luann is a very interesting character to me. So, first of all, her marriage to Tom. I think we can all relate. When everyone can see that a relationship is not going well, is not working, everyone else can see it but you want to try to persevere so hard that you just don't want to see. You don't want to see. So I think that Luann is a very interesting character because we can all relate to that. I feel like we can all relate to our life kind of crumbling or like wanting love so badly that we're just blind to the problems or things that aren't going to be healthy for us. And that's why Luann, I think, is very good for the show. Sonia Morgan is just the party girl. And the thing I think is so interesting about Sonia Morgan is, I don't know if you realize this, or maybe I just realized this, but the amount of money that she used to live in, because Morgan is JP Morgan Chase, this huge bank. I mean, that lifestyle is just so beyond my current life that it's fascinating to me. Like, I want them to do a Sonia Morgan special where they go back and talk about her life and how do you even meet John Morgan? I mean, how are you a person that's seemingly regular and then you're wrapped up into this wealth? You know what I mean? Like Erica Jane, as an example, we know was like working and like met Tom and blah, blah, blah. And they kind of like came up with a thing. But what about in Sonia's case? Tinsley Mortimer. For some reason, I don't connect with Tinsley that well. And I feel like, you know, she's trying so hard to like regain her normalcy. But at the same time, she wants to like reinvent herself. She wants to like, you know, re-engage in her old life, but like be new. And yet she wants to live in the same area. She has the same stupid hair. I feel like she needs a refreshment. And that's what I'm saying. I'm really looking for, oh, and we forgot Carol Radziwill and Ramona. Oh my God, there's so many. Okay, we'll have to save it for another day. Okay, continuing on. Carol Radziwill. She's all smart and thin and just kind of totally amazing. She's a little bit aloof to me, like she doesn't really care about you, but she does care about you, but she's like super cool and I'm going somewhere better later and that kind of a thing. I really like her. You know what I wonder, and this is like really terrible, you know how it seems like everybody gets divorced? Because she was only married to her husband for 5 years. I wonder if she would have gotten divorced like the rest of every single person on a Real Housewives show. I don't know. Sometimes I think about that. Ramona Singer. Don't we just feel sad for her? I was really sad when her husband had an affair and left her. I mean, it really can knock the wind out of your sails. I think Ramona is better off without him. I think it's really fun to watch her like reclaim herself. I mean, she's always herself and she's always a little nutty, which I like. And I find her to be very unself-aware. She has no self-awareness, which is probably very good in business because like, someone doesn't like me, I don't care. You know, that kind of a thing. So it's just super fun, super funny. There's one other thing that I was reminded of as I looked on my calendar, and that is da-day-da-durse-day-da-ding, which is today's the first day of spring. And every year I call my dad and I tell him, hey, what's going on? Nothing. Da-day-da-ding. And he never knows what I'm talking about until I explain that I'm saying today's the first day of spring. And every year he forgets, and then I call him the next year and I say da-day-da-ding. So I recommend that you call a loved one and tell them that today is da-day-da-ding. Okay, bye. One last thing. I really wanted to show you what I was wearing today because I'm taking a fashion risk. I'm wearing a boiler suit. Boiler suit, boiler suit, boiler suit. It's kind of, I feel like it makes my hips look a little bit, but whatever, I'm just gonna try it. Isn't that what it's about? Just doing stuff? I'm just gonna do stuff and just go with it. I remembered something that I wanted to discuss with you. So the other day I was at an event, and I've really been watching a lot of interesting things about race and ethnicity and, like, you know, the problems in America with, like, you know, racism that's kind of like bubbled up to the surface of society. And I feel that what Donald Trump has done, I am not affiliated with any political party, but I feel that he has made it okay and kind of acceptable to be a dick, if you know what I mean, for the common people or the, you know, people just in your daily life. I feel, I mean, obviously I can't measure that with data, but I'm just saying that culturally the leader has said, like, oh, you can be flippant and disregard people, so that's okay for you too. So anyway, the other day I was at an event, and I have grown up as clearly a white woman in America in an upper middle class family. So I've not experienced racism as it deals with skin tone. Of course, there's always going to be something, you know, I think you just kind of get used to as being a woman, just kind of used to, you know, not being regarded as highly, or like that you're as smart, or maybe you're not as gruff, so you're not going to get the job done. I mean, that's kind of what I experienced in my previous life in corporate America. But anyways, so I was watching a bunch of really interesting things about how it's so easy to join a march where you have all these other like-minded people that aren't going to confront you or cause conflict, and they're all going towards one goal. And it's another thing to be in a small setting, like in an office setting or in a small group setting, where somebody says something racist or offensive, and you're amongst your peers and your friends, and most of the time nobody says anything because they don't want to cause a conflict, or they don't want to, like, ruffle the feathers, or you know, not be the friends with person, or be uncool, or whatever. So anyway, the other day I was, like, sitting around, we were talking about 23andMe. I don't know if you've ever done that. That's where you put saliva and then they send it back to you and tell you your makeup, your DNA background. And so I thought it was very interesting that I'm exactly 1/2 Ashkenazi Jew. My dad is Jewish. Their whole family's Jewish, and I'm exactly 1/2 Ashkenazi Jew. And I've always been kind of like, wow, that's really something. And, you know, I'm really proud of that. And, you know, the Jewish culture and the Jewish heritage, and that's really, you know, interesting. So I was in this conversation with people and talking about their 23andMe results, and I was saying, oh yeah, I'm 1/2 Ashkenazi Jew. And somebody said to me, oh, well, I can tell. That makes sense. And I never experienced that kind of, like, racial disregard or religious disregard. And I was really taken aback. And it was really... oh my God. Anyway, I was really, like, irritated in the moment and, like, taken aback and shocked. And in that same conversation, the person was saying, I'm going to bring back the word FAG, which is obviously completely inappropriate. And so there was about 5 people, and not one person said, like, dude, that's not cool, or, ugh, like, why are you saying that, or anything. And I really am ashamed of myself for not saying, dude, that's not cool, or, like, what's your problem, or like, stopping it. Everybody was just like, oh, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha. I mean, if anything's gonna change, everyone has to have the courage to say, like, dude, that's not cool, or, like, why are you being like that? And I didn't, and I'm ashamed of that. So, I don't know, I'm going to learn from this, and next time somebody says something offensive about somebody or something, like, regardless of if it's directed at me, I really even though I know it's gonna be uncomfortable, but I'm really gonna, like, put the clip on it. Clip! I'm gonna Dorinda Medley the next person that says something rude or derogatory. Clip on the rude, derogatory things.